Welcome everyone to more live Linux testing, the usual low level and stuff. And I'm not sure how many distributions do that. I mean, certainly the package maintainer maybe sometimes run some test suite thing, but if you know of any other similar endeavors, leave me in the comments below. I did two things. So last night I continued a little bit here testing with QEMU. So you might want to watch yesterday's video first, not to repeat all the stuff. But I came to realize it is way easier to probably run the initRD. For example, we want to test that the initRD works and probably boots and stuff. So it's certainly much easier to just run the initRD content in QEMU user. Because why is that so? Because we can't even boot all kernel initRDs easily in QEMU, because QEMU only emulates some system machines, and we may not even support those. For example, MIPSIL we built for some generic kernel that did not, at least in my testing, just boot in QEMU. So maybe it does somehow, but that's also the crazy stuff, right? If we recurring theme, that's the most amazed with our own Linux kernel. Also, we run Linux distribution. We need some more amazing microkernel, yes, coming soon, and hardware abstraction layer. Because it's silly recurring theme that the Linux kernel supports so much, but you need to custom statically compile that. That was always pretty annoying. Except now for ARM, they start to change this slowly for more generic ARM 32 kernel and stuff. But yeah, so even for MIPS, I had to change that to build with Linux kconfig configuration for MIPS Malta for some 20-plus-year-old development board thing. That is certainly not ideal. So it probably should be much easier to extract the initRD into some fresh sandbox, just some folder, something like that, and like change roots. The only thing you would need some namespaces because UDEF and so on. I think that should probably be possible somehow, but that is for another day. So what we need to do here is I tried around a little bit with those. It's a little bit time consuming, but yeah, recurring theme, right? There must be some, is it XKCD? Scripting graphs, there must be something. Matching, of course, somewhere. The usual thing, if you do it first, if you do it once, you've done it once. And if you automate it, then it takes a little bit more time. Where is it here? Spittle of time, should write a program, something similar like that. Not really that. There was some automation thing, but yeah, whatever, somewhere. You probably guessed the idea. So time consuming is to go through all the 24 plus increasing architectures and trial and error and script and write down and script all those QEMU kernel configurations and potentially change some. Well, there is a win-win, right? Not only there are multiple win-wins except our time and stuff, but the one win is, of course, we get the stuff tested. The other win is that we get probably better kernel configurations, because for some architectures that I threw it in and it mostly built and called it a day, obviously, because I don't even have it. So for some architectures that probably even results in better kernel config, so that it at least works in QEMU. Certainly better than nothing. For Firefox, we also want to script that further, which probably is a good way to test that. So I googled a little bit. I wish that would be better controllable. I didn't even find, leave in the comments below if Firefox supports this, like Firefox headless, run some JavaScript. We could, for example, start testing JavaScript stuff just to print out hello world. That already tests a great deal of Firefox as a whole, as this monolith, and that all the basic functionalities work, because for some architectures like PowerPC, it currently even segmentation fails. So testing what even works. So we will also not have one Firefox test, we will have like 5 or maybe later 10. Like, does it just start up without crashing? Does it work with X11? Does it work with Wayland? Does it render a page and so on? A test that I would come up with. And the other thing, so that would be, do we even have MIPSL? Let's even test that. For some, I had done that. Also best CD with QEMU. Do we have some Firefox in the... Something like that. All right, RISC-V work. Let's maybe use that. And so we wouldn't open, here in the example, say open hex Mozilla org, thank you very much. For that we would need some local hello world test, because obviously we don't want to test against an ever-changing dynamic website that we don't have control over. So we wouldn't even use our own website, because obviously that keeps changing. We need something constant, so that should be some hello world stuff. That is also the URL to this live stream. So that one. And let's see, so that is dash headless. And so screenshot, why is here no headless? Screenshot assumes headless. Okay, that is good to know. So there is some control, I think, with Python. Python, of course, not ideal for us. Does it look like Python? Of Selenium driver or something. And debug server stuff, but yeah, it's always... This is also a little bit of a problem of modern tech. I really wish there would be some simple thing, like Firefox, do this and that, but yeah, all this running stuff. But anyway, one easy thing for now. And by the way, if you want to do me a favor, like right now, live on this live stream, you could actually Google, or if you know or Google, is there like some Firefox-JavaScript and so on. Also, maybe we could actually fake that with screenshot or headless or stuff and print it out something. I guess it should print out alerts or something like that to the command line. So maybe even if it doesn't support this natively, we could screenshot website stuff with our own local file. So yeah, let's see how that goes. So that was screenshot. Did I screenshot? And we could. Not sure what strange size it is. Let's use here let's 128 by 96. I hope that's X and Y, you would hope. Let's see what happens. Does it even, by the way? So yeah, one really annoying thing for our unit testing are those stray console error messages. Because obviously we can't have random shit in our testing. Slightly wonder, wait a second, where did it even store the screenshot? If it did store any? Maybe in root desktop? Download? That is a little bit... do they even say where they... That said, if you need a screenshot of the page, that's built in. I slightly wonder where the screenshots to though. And yeah, another thing is, right, is it still like busy or... Oh wait, maybe we also don't wanna... Ah wait, you know what, why this doesn't work? Because we don't have name. We have default no name server resolution here. No DNS resolution, maybe that works better. Probably was still like, who knows what, 30 seconds waiting for DNS timeout. Yeah, also Firefox 2022. Why does this take so long? Why is here core dump? Firefox directly probe stuff on PCI. That is, of course, also not ideal. Yeah, okay, it was a nice idea. It does not yet fully work. That should work, shouldn't it? Yeah, looks like it works. Not sure what's not working there. Maybe that is. intended like that. But yeah, recurring theme also not the most impressed of some high profile packages. You always, not only would I think the built-in scripting is more amazing, like think Apple script, like tell Firefox to click and stuff. And yeah, it's somehow crazy how low-tech some things are, in my opinion. Maybe we can find out with Xtrace. Oh wait, not Xtrace, Strace. Okay, this clock stuff obviously is not particularly helpful. Okay, that was... Yeah, so there's that. You always think it should be easier, but then it isn't. 1 second. So yeah, again, if you're permanent Firefox, maybe we should actually look into Firefox test suite there. So it wouldn't surprise me if their stuff is highly Python dependent. How hot is it even? AKA too hot. Obviously, so hot. So test. So eventually that would be, let's not store that yet. Let's like maybe copy that to 200. Does our test probably hopefully run? Yeah, .cmd. I use another name not to run this test yet. So we would need here something of Firefox, that stuff, and then later with custom local site. Also for this test we don't need. Probably we will probably create here some framework to a source here to reuse certain patterns for bringing up Virtual X and Wayland and so on. So yeah, we will continue there. That should screenshot there. That's still yeah, but that doesn't work yet, so that's to be continued. I could further fiddle around with that stuff. I mean, maybe we need this Python testing stuff, which is not ideal because complexity and having all this stuff installed to run the tests. What we probably better do then is, to make this a little bit more entertaining for you playing along at home, to run QEMU for all the architecture files. To my surprise, even alpha worked, so that would be MIPS. And as you see, I'm not even sure what did we had there. There's already a paging request. I think, so does it continue to boot? And there you see the thing, right? Without changing the config, I got nothing. So that would be MIPS, so I had to change this to Malta, but even then, that is a complexity, right? Not only the Linux kernel needs to work and the config, which supporting all the architectures, the one and only supporting all the architectures, is rather frustrating. And then also QEMU stability, right? Why I don't, people always ask why I don't build more with QEMU, because it's not even available and then stable in performance and stuff. So it's just some stuff here. We might not need all of that, but for now it is here. Oops. Let's maybe go through there alphabetically. I tried some already yesterday. We have actually quite some. Yes. Probably starting with alpha. Alpha, to my surprise, just worked. So I tried that yesterday, probably that. Yeah. Some architectures are faster. I mean, Alpha is surprisingly fast. Some, depending on what QEMU is doing there, and depends on firmware initialization and stuff, take longer. And maybe we add additional support to the init ID. Again, we can't like diff all the randomly changing PCI slots and MAC addresses and stuff. And whatever date here. I mean, theoretically, we could like implement wildcard expansion stuff to code here 20 star or stuff. But maybe it is better to suppress most output. I mostly boot here with log level 9 because in some booted source, like even that, right, you wouldn't. Yeah, I guess that must be printout from QEMU most likely. Even that could be subject to random changes, or not random, but future development, I should say. Not ideal. So alpha, let's store that here in alphabetically order to archive that. Also to document which kernel images. That is the thing with scripting that. It's not the same VM Linux for all of them. Also, I need to, space is a little bit annoying. So to make in notes what pattern, like maybe also log level, we could theoretically remove that here already. So some stuff would be generic depending on what test we run. And for that, we probably, the best thing to get away in the beginning with all the random text changes would probably to only expect the last debug shell output there if it works. So alpha, we tested arg. Do they have? I've never tested that actually. So lots. Okay, we don't have arg. Then the next should probably be ARM. Did I try? I think that did not work. I think I tried that. I think I tried, or was it just freaking slow? It could be that it's freaking slow, that I only noticed it later on. Maybe it was mipsel. Yeah, so that is quite time consuming then. To debug ARM, kernel, maybe machine. So that all right, I tried Word. Do we have Word here? We actually have Word. So one crazy thing is, oh wait, do we boot? Oh, okay, we don't. Do we have an image there? Maybe not. Did I got the Arch 64 to boot yesterday? Because I run that actually on macOS, right? Previous video. That should work. Of course, not as fast. Okay, that works. It's not so. Yes, this is TCG versus hardware virtualization. And this is also when I yesterday said why I do run tests with also, yeah, hello. Does it continue to, yeah, freaking somewhat slow, I would say. So this alpha, it is crazy. Why? Maybe this TCG is just so differently implemented. The impression to me is that this ARM stuff is like a magnitude slower than DEC alpha. I have no idea why. Maybe that is the nature of the ISA. But this testing, of course, sucks big time, right? So you've seen this probably, how long did we talk? 30 seconds. Super annoying test time, right? Of course, better than getting hardware out and undusting this and stuff. And you see how much even more crazy random output was there. Although we could see how much less it is without that and copy that already. So not to waste that time there, and already And the win-win here would be to figure out what's with ARM, and maybe that is in generic things that could be better with a more generic kernel. This is currently the Asahi stuff, which we probably also could change, maybe even to upstream. I think the major stuff is upstream, so we probably don't need that anymore urgently. Oh wait, we need this console. Why did I? What do we have there? I mean, theoretically, I think the verbose. I'm not even sure. I need to check the kernel. I have the feeling this didn't really do a thing. That's why I used like log levels. So some of the stuff is superfluous here, and I just tried random stuff last night. So yeah, that came up. Good. Maybe we should make a note that we need to test ARM 32-bit. So next, even I think Hewlett-Packard Precision Architecture worked to my surprise. Is it the next? Yeah, that is the next. So AVR, there is a QEMU fork from 10 years ago. Nobody worked on that. So default is just our own local build stuff, Hewlett-Packard. I wish there would be Itanium, but there isn't. So build HPPA. So that I think that just, right, I remember. I remember that. So theoretically it would work, and there you see the limitations with other people, like I heard vaguely that there supposed to be some other build systems to T2 that build some stuff, but not as much and stuff. And many of them, like Open Embedded, I think heavily rely on QEMU. Don't really regularly look into that because I'm rather satisfied with my own T2 here, but this are the limitations, right? If you require to build with QEMU for running G-object introspection or stuff, then yeah, you can't build everything if QEMU is not good enough, right? And if you want to build stuff, you don't want to start debugging and improving QEMU, which is a rather tedious task on its own. Maybe we could add I mean, maybe that is a kernel config. Maybe some other option would fix this. So where should we add that? Maybe here, like to do crashes. Yes, next. Packard. So we don't have that. Motorola 68K. There probably should be something. At least I heard so. There might even be some word machine. Motorola 68K, because why not? Whatever they have there, maybe a VM Linux. Amiga? Why is this named Amiga? What the heck? It's probably not something I've done. Does it have an Amiga? I mean, crazy enough, I noticed the other Tamori, it has a Nextcube, which is rather crazy. So we don't have Amiga there. We have Macintosh Quadra. Is that Linux supported? Maybe we should then rather change our config to something more beefy than an Amiga. Sounds to be pretty okay-ish. Let's maybe check Motorola 68K, what we even freaking built here. Okay, someone dumped here their own, maybe the Graver or somewhere. How old is that stuff? Yeah, so that is not that old. However, so probably previously we didn't even have a config. That is not the most helpful. As much as I appreciate that, it's probably time Where would be a simple one like RISC-V maybe? What was it? Motorola 68K, right? Whatever there, doesn't matter too much, but so that is Sci-Fi specific. Then this generic stuff that we want to share with all, and then let's see. Oh, maybe without V. Don't need to. Hello. Don't need to stream that once around the world here, encrypted and stuff. So menu config. What even was it LX CPUs or Arch? I actually forgot. Actually, no, what this was a stupid idea. Let's build this with T2, where everything is automated. And that's the win-win I mentioned in the beginning, right? Sure, some people have an Amiga. I still, actually, one of those systems I would still want to have. Although I'm not even sure this compact Amiga 600 was nice. The crazy thing is nowadays, even yellowed ones go for so much money. Yeah, I'm not even sure you probably need a beefier Amiga for Linux. Let's see what we got there. Should this not wire up to that or so? Or can we support multiple in one kernel? I have no idea though if that will work. Maybe let's not add everything. Here's Amiga 1200, 600. I'm actually... Did this... did they had an MMU or... Okay, maybe an add-on card. Then let's copy maybe... do we need Sorrow? Probably, huh? Let's copy that stuff and hope it builds. I hate modern. I need to disable this feature from them for me. This here sounds Amiga. I hope that is possible to build both in. Again, in my microkernel, I would want an HAL for that, an Amiga HAL. So Amiga, Atari, Mac Apollo, VMA, not sure. What is Q40? Something else? If you have any insight in this stuff, feel free to drop patches and so on. Actually, did they not have maybe this new VirtIO thing? What is that? Maybe we want that though. Maybe even put in the kernel. I have the feeling this will not boot on the first thing. We probably need more M68K specific drivers. What even was that? Success of Cyclic, okay, don't have that. Yes, Osaurus Amiga. Maybe we want this, where was it? That one here. I hope that doesn't conflict. The recurring theme I have often you can build stuff and it doesn't really work or doesn't link or whatnot. But let's see what happens if we just add this. No. Let's see how that is going. Also maybe, wait a second, we probably build this better in another terminal. To make best use of our time because we have more to test here. And again, that is a win-win, not only making and creating an amazing, sophisticated testing infrastructure, but also improving our configs while at it, because otherwise I would in decades not have to do that. So we even have that in QEMU. And surprisingly enough, there are some machines. The problem with those is, of course, that they are so full-featured that you can boot Linux. I have no idea. Nothing like find out. So Microblaze, does it do something? Microblaze T2, no Amiga, obviously. And empty, what is the default? Default is some Petalogix Spartan. Oh, that aborts. Thank you. Unaligned PC. Why does CPU not print out something? So yes, this may or may not work. Basically not really that much to document even. This is just default stuff. But just that we tried it. That's the builds. Then the next one. Microblaze. It could even be also that Nginx. I think there's Microblaze, but it doesn't matter. Let's move on with the next one. So MIP64 I now already will not boot. And that's the crazy stuff, right? What was the other MIPCell, right? I mean, the other crazy thing is, should we even build MIPS, aka Big Endian 32-bit flavor, getting a little bit out of hand. Because the problem with that is, again, the Linux kernel often, for all the non-generic mainstream PC stuff, very specific code, even link addresses and so on, and platform init and other IRQ and all this handling. So our MIP64 stuff is for SG Octane, so that will not boot. And that is the thing, right? We could probably maybe test that in, so we can't test it in QEMU unless we significantly hack that up, and I have no time right now in my life to do that. You probably won't share, like, and subscribe. Also, I'd rather write a microkernel. We could partially run this in GX emulator, but even that doesn't fully work. So how to best test that, right? And that's the frustration, not only for users, but also for me with all this statically fixed configured Linux kernel stuff. So if we wanted to test this, we would need to build a more generic MIP64 kernel, but then I can't run it on my real hardware. That is, yeah, more. Not sure. So MIPS, I guess this is like to do MIP64 because there's no point to do that now. Neos 2, oh wait a second, MIPCell. I think MIPCell was that was some Magnum stuff, right? Did I? MIPCell I had here, that was the last thing. That also built, then let's try this 68 casing today. And we want then probably this Q800. Yeah, that's exactly what I kind of sort of expected. So maybe there would be something graphically, I'm not sure, maybe that doesn't have a... Alright, we probably don't have serial port there. What does this Mac Quadra 800 was, right? Yeah. Probably must have some serial port, right? No? Don't tell me there's only ADB. Ah, darn. Does it only have ADB? If that is accurate. Modem port. Printer port. Could work, maybe just kconfig, maybe. Well, the question is which here? Because there are quite some, all in the name of science and testing. Maybe there's a kconfig though. Okay, Amiga, it didn't have that there. Or there is even another kernel image we should boot for that. What do they run here? Kernel, so they run the VM Linux directly like we did. Okay, they did. Okay, they don't have. Why do they have serial none and then serial non-standard output? But they have there no graphic. Looks confusing. Booty, I mean they manually specify a kernel. That is a little bit strange. But, I mean, we can test what we get there. It looks like maybe we then only miss a kconfig. So let's see. M68K. We had run this, right? M68K. So let's see. Somewhere here about 68K QEMU. Kernel. Oh wait, this is anyway the. Oh wait, did I run? Maybe I run the wrong kernel simply. That could be a thing, to be honest. Okay, that exits quickly. Why would it exit quickly? Yes, I know we had that already. Not really sure why they have that twice. Okay, this is all this. I mean, basically this was the same, so I'm not really sure why it would exit. Probably something going wrong, otherwise it wouldn't exit so quickly. No graphics. Does it work with serial none? And then, okay, that does the same. Not really sure what they've done there. Console TTY. It looks like that could work, but doesn't. Recurring theme here. Oops. Register what? No, I want quizzes. Yeah. So Arch, Motorola 68K. Configs, what do we have there? Amiga. We have there some Mac. Okay, there's some PMac. That certainly could be a thing. Maybe even we copy that stuff here. There's probably more stuff. I mean, most of the stuff is not really that machine related, which is why we don't need all the stuff. Interesting, you can tick multiple 68K variants there. Config Mac though? So yeah, again, generic, we don't need that other stuff, whatever. Even IPv6, why would you have the dev config, but okay, let's do that again. With some more stuff enabled, so that was that stuff, so also that serial, and here I wanted to make sure that we have probably those, maybe even includes generic stuff. And that is why we compose the dev configs out of generic stuff, not to copy all this constantly. So while this is building another epic thread wrapping 5 minutes, let's test the next. Where have we been? Microblaze, Mipsil, Neos 2. We have there something. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, the exotic stuff is hard, or like actually, I should rephrase it. Welcome everyone. The exotic stuff is not that hard. It's just nobody's using it, so more bugs and bitrot plus more kconfig to be specifically just so right to match the kernel's expectation and the QEMU emulation. So QEMU, that stuff here. So Neos 2, some kernel probably. Let's see what happens. Nothing. At least it doesn't crash yet. What machines do we have here? No MMU? No, we need a... What is it even? That is the default Altera, Neos 2 design. So yeah, theoretically could work. Maybe needs another serial driver because reasons. And that is just documenting here the efforts, right? I could see here alone, sit here alone in my attic or basement, do this stuff. But we choose to do it live now for your entertainment and stuff. And where do we have... Oh, so this is nonsense that we contrasted from. So yeah, this will both also, I should edit it so to do like nothing yet, or whatever. Then the next thing, okay, this is still running, whatever it does. Neos 2 OpenRISC. I think OpenRISC has a chance to work. I think there were some more sophisticated examples. We also need to get rid of this verbose here and this bloody serial number that has no value. 1K, and hey, it does something, yay. Oh, illegal, unhandled exception, infinite loop, yay. Now you probably get not only why I document this, but also how much effort it is, right? People always think like, yeah, this test suite. People don't realize, even freaking, I said this yesterday, there was the other video, right? Code is work, testing is work, test suite, I mean, quality assurance, and right? And not only to mention that hashtag Apple Speakbugs and Microsoft and stuff, people cheap out on this stuff. So the kernel comes up, the init comes up, quite a lot of stuff comes up. Why is this libpi unknown locations? It's probably UDEF loading stuff. So I guess it's kernel modules. It's what it looks to me. Internal error, jasig bit. I mean, it does something. That's what we're here for, right? Maybe that's a kernel bug, maybe it's a compiler bug, maybe it's a QEMU bug. I will not debug that. If you want professional debugging service, right? I already did way too much in my life, 20 years of open source stuff, and you probably can Patreon and GitHub sponsorship or YouTube membership and stuff. If you need professional embedded stuff services like this stuff, I will not debug for free. So I'm not spending like a day of my life debugging. So if you have, what is it, Neos 2, or where's even hello? Can we also kill that? Can't kill that, why not? Also, it could be now that this is Wi-Fi hiccup. Apparently not. If you need professional debugging services, then oops. You know where you find me. Oh yeah, this was one one. So yeah, kind of works somewhat. And yet, so running testing, we need to implement timeouts. We need to implement expected output in some intelligent way. But don't forget to share, like, and subscribe for continuation of all this stuff. Because today we will not finish with it. I still have this verbose stuff in there. I thought I got rid of that. Is it? Ah, wait, this is the wrong one. How did I copy the wrong one there? Darn it. What have I even done there? So now something is a little bit borked in this. So yeah, we need timeout handling, otherwise the test suite can easily stall if QEMU infinite loops. So quite some more stuff is necessary. And if you want to contribute to this stuff, right, patches welcome, pull requests and stuff. If you're new to this stuff, right, our just little supporting everything except when it crashes. Linux distribution. So next thing, so that was also Motorola 68K, probably the next try for, where was it? Oh, there somewhere, pretty close already. Motorola 68K, QEMU dash Motorola 68. Okay, that still is not better. What do we got there? Yeah, so something, but did I think earlier it didn't error out so quickly. So this is somehow, oh, not CPU. I mean, they have actually maybe we should actually test it though. So strange that this Macintosh thing errors out. Okay, for that we probably need a VirtIO machine enablement. Let's quickly check that. maybe should we? What is it even? What is it even doing though? Oops. Do they have a help entry for that? Where is Vert.io? Or is it not upstream? So I can't really be sure whether all those work in enabled. I mean, it looks like it. I mean, the kernel developer surely would only allow to enable this if it works, right? But can I be sure with those? This is a little bit bizarre. Although maybe it's not yet upstream. I read somewhere maybe that is only recently new upstream. Okay. And not today. So much to the testing, right? And when I said it's easier to test the InnerD in user space, that is why, right? Because getting through, I mean, not only slow like Molossus, also, yeah, not even freaking working. Do we have M68K in there? Or did I? Apparently did not yet copy that. I mean, for me, it would be more valuable to emulate an existing machine to make sure it has a chance to work on real hardware. MIPS, microplace, how is the sorting? Naturally, year numbers first theoretically. But I'm not sure why. Probably I didn't include it there because we will still trial and erroring on that. Cleanup to do. Nothing yet crashes or so motor 68K, where have we been? OR1K. I mean, it's also basically a huge QEMU testing, right? I mean, you theoretically really want to share, like, and subscribe and stuff, and Patreon or stuff, because theoretically I would be not only all day busy testing, like coding all this stuff for 20 years, testing all this stuff, theoretically also upstream communication, right? I basically it would be a full-time job, which would be amazing if you Patreon stuff, just all day long communication with all the QEMU developers to make sure like everything works and fix all those bugs or implementation marginalities. So PowerPC did work once upon a time with actually not worked that worked very relatively sophisticated with a Mac99. I need to get rid of this report, so it's always annoying to delete that. Do we have maybe even this double space is not to constantly have to double delete those. And so Mac99, there might be others that might be usable. Actually, that is crazy. That's a G3 Biger is. I usually use Mac99. Why does that attempting to kill Enid? That is crazy. Didn't expect that. Let's try with the default. It's probably errors out the same. Did we just find a bug? Something doesn't work there, obviously. Not sure why that would be. Need to debug that later. That was supposed to work maybe in your regression, which is also why we're here testing all this stuff, right? PowerPC 64 was working similarly. The only difference is theoretically we have there is an option to also test some PowerNV, IBM PowerPC not virtualized. I usually used, I kind of used both. All right, we have that here, QEMU, so we have two options. Also maybe we use also Mac99 here for that one. Just because we also have, alright, so this is, does this boot like that? Also, he has so much to boot time, right? Booting from memory and nothing happens. We can use that here because it is like Mac99. It's not really sure why this couldn't be executed. So there is something, obviously. So let's test Mac99. Oh, darn, again this spam. Welcome around, how are you doing? Yesterday we blocked already some bloody user like that. I really wonder that they even find who this bloody spam here. So let's test Mac99 for that, because that matches our real hardware, and because we anyway have PowerPC 64LE, so we can test that one with whatever is the Power NV default there. I wonder if theoretically you can configure a Mac99 machine with... Oh wait, do we not have... Houston, do we not have a Power LE machine? Oh wait, since when is P series the default? Probably for... that means we can't test that one. At least not yet unless someone implements it. Okay, you can apparently, maybe. Architecture currently runs on two number of machines. Okay, P series. So the P series is, wait, is this little Indian? Okay, so we need, we need to pair that with that probably. So let's try Power NV, CPU, serial Power 9. Okay, more than 1 gig. Yes, of course. Can give you that. Is that the kernel coming up or some? Was it P series, right? Somehow this, I mean, it is possible that this is not serial console. Like, let's, I mean, it looks kernel. Is it kernel? No, this is Opal. Ah, here. Oh, so this works. Yay! At least something works. It's a little bit like without much output for a time. That's why it's always confusing. You think something doesn't work anymore. That calls it a success. It's probably the first time actually I tested this PowerPC 64 little Indian and stuff. Yeah, it's this is also super annoying. Recurring theme, right? As I said earlier, this is super annoying for testing when we get so much firmware, random firmware output stuff. That's, of course, entirely not helpful. But at least something works. And it's good that we test this now before we release this, right? If you're wondering why this stuff, attention to detail, right? There's always yet more to improve and so on. And yeah, stuff takes time, right? And that is why we automate this more, because obviously I don't want to go through all this error-prone stuff manually. Let's 2 gigs here. Yeah, whatever. Maybe just to have this, but no. Yeah, whatever. So, and maybe we found win-win, right? Maybe we found already some new regressions at this PowerPC stuff, initRD errors out there that is surely not normal. PowerPC. So next, PowerPC RISC. So the RISC-V stuff just worked, at least. Maybe we have the next win here. Because, so I think this worked. At least I thought it does, maybe, or not. Or maybe it didn't. What do we have here? RISC-V 64, RISC-V 64. Oops, didn't press I enough. So that is from the firmware, so that does not. Maybe we need also some other config here. Or does it, I mean, we could test with VM kernel. Where is the sci5? We have sock virt, so I think I added Starfire. I think I've not committed yet. Yeah, I think last night I vaguely remember that I added Starfire. So it has a chance to work. Why does it not? Maybe it wants. Does it want VM Linux? No. It does not want VM Linux. I mean, maybe that one wants. I mean, we could give it more time. Otherwise, we would need to debug that. I think this was probably, I think I remember I scrolled through that yesterday night. I think this was extremely uninformative. Machine virt kernel. Okay, it has this image here. It has TTY. Okay, so it should work, but it doesn't. And it is mostly identical anyway. So yeah, that's not doing much. I think I extracted the image yesterday. I think the result was the same. All right, we have here another image because I had here. Maybe we want the same image thing there. Okay, we have here actually RISC-V star. Do we not? Oh, wait a second. Maybe we have the image. I just auto-completed it wrong. We have that, but it also doesn't do anything. I mean, it is possible that it's running. Here's a PC. or it is not. Yeah, dev config. So, come here, how long do we live stream? 1 hour, of course. Just the usual stuff. So, what is our RV32 dev config? Sockvert, which serial though? Okay, that is a normal, maybe virt.io console, maybe? No, thank you very much. That is obviously very unhelpful. What do we have here? Oops. We have that. Okay, that was. We probably want that built in then, just in case. I'm not even. Why do we have so many DNLs here? Wait a second. Why does this? Did I just copy? Not sure what I. Maybe I YOLO'd here around to get this working on an FPGA. I don't quite remember because we should not have that here. Is it the same here? No, we have vastly more stuff. So that is tested. That's supposedly tested and used on the RISC-V unmatched. But so actually, but we don't have serial stuff here, so we probably want that here as well. Not sure if that is. So let's build that too. Nothing like epic thread rip to another kernel. So serial. So that was built in, but that not. Let's see how that goes. So what else? So that needs actually, so theoretically it should, but does not yet work. We probably want to test with virt when that works. That is the stuff we should probably relatively easily get working, but right now it does not yet just work. So then, what else do we have? RISC-V, alright, Spark or S190. Do we have QEMU for that? I think there should be a QEMU for that. And there is, yay. Couldn't load. Alright, that is another version. And that does not yet do much. Okay, there are quite some VirtIO things. Let's see, maybe there's also some VirtIO console S390. What did we got there? Okay, quite some stuff. Something. CPU, serial stuff. Okay, then some. Okay, they have here some kernel directly. What do we have there? So it should work. Probably subject to whatever. We might not even have a proper kernel config here at all. Maybe we should get some clues out of the dev config. Probably we have totally no kernel config here. Oh, we have a little bit. Just that we need some console. Oh, that's still building, surprisingly. Arch S390. Debug dev config. VirtIO console, they have here M. Does not look. What do we have here? Debug dev. That is only a module. So much to that. It could be just slow. But whatever. So yeah, let's document it. It's not mission critical. If you have this IBM stuff, you know where to find me to donate a time or two. Okay, is that build? Is it? What did we build here? RISC-V. I think I extracted the. I think the probably QEMU does it transparently. Oh wait, did it? Where was this? Was it? Did they run the image? Or yeah, they run the image. Yeah, that is a little bit disappointing. I mean, the RISC-V kernel boots on the RISC-V unmatched, so that is fine. So that, I mean, it could also be that just that QEMU is not full featured in some way. Actually, we should add then. So yeah, half of the QEMUs does not yet work in a satisfying way. Although it might be just some config for serial console. So then x32, oh, it's Spark. So I think, so this Spark didn't work because, I mean, it's bit rotting upstream anyway. Yeah, so illegal instruction. That is it even in the kernel or in some? For what do we even build? I lost overview. Okay, Spark Leon is not set. The problem is they deleted so much from the kernel. But maybe it should still be. Yeah, I don't know what. I mean, this should be a quite standard conforming. Maybe they have some Spark Leon quirks. There is a Leon config. Not sure what that is used for. Yeah, so that is that. Synthesizable V8 GTL model, Spark V8 standard, part of GR, the collection of IP cores under the GPR. Geisler.com. So we don't have the matching U-boot around though. I wonder what is. Should this still be able to boot on? I think it should be possible to boot on a V8. What is our user space currently even? So we built for V8. How was it? Do we have a glibc overlay for such an old? Because upstream glibc doesn't support that anymore. Yeah, okay, we have a 222. Is that sufficiently old? Probably. Maybe it is. Actually, maybe. Probably I checked that. Probably I've run QEMU. Yeah, so that even works. So then we only need a sufficiently new Spark station. So which one would be sufficiently new enough? So we need right. I mean, despite it doesn't work on real hardware, but I mean, wait a second, does it even have a chance to? Okay, that is too much memory. Hey, there is something coming up until illegal instruction. It's better than nothing, so I mean, we could try what happens with a significantly newer Spark station and maybe a newer CPU if there's a newer CPU, but then we would need to debug what is the illegal instruction. Okay, that's still illegal instruction. Is that not Spark v8? I think Spark v8 was only, so should only be hardware multiply and divide. What CPUs do we have here? What is the default? Oh, this is the usual crazy stuff here. Can we pair that with a Leon 3? Okay, we cannot. Which would be... So that is extremely... I wondered the last time already. What even is the freaking default here? Default available plus minus to be removed. It even has this 1 and 2 for Spark 32-bit. Because the problem is, I mean, what is even the freaking default here? Does that mean here is some multiply and divide? Yeah, not the most readable, to be honest. What is even the CPU ID? That is... Like, or do they need... Like, yeah, it couldn't be more strange here. It's like, yeah, what is a freaking model name? You can't mix this shit up. I have like no idea what... I mean, can we like plus... there was... default minus to remove, where is... There is a mul plus... Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, you know, when your command line stuff is shit, when you can't like easily... When you need to Google the usage. That is... So where is Spark? So they don't have anything there. So yeah, there is Spark, CPU, micro Spark. How to specify that? Yeah, nobody specifies it. So it could be that that is our own kernel stuff, though. Do they have? They don't have. Oh wait, there it continues. Doesn't look like a CPU thing there. Yeah, one of those unhelpful blog posts. Yeah, what freaking heck is here the CPU name? That is so silly. So what is it for PowerPC? For PowerPC we only use, I mean, why would that be prefixed with PowerPC? That is so silly. So for PowerPC, that is the only name. So what is the difference for Spark? I mean, should that be the name that you use? That is so silly. Yeah, that works. So yeah, they couldn't format it more shitty though. So what would it be here? Super Spark. So what would be even the fastest, most sophisticated? That one here? Super Spark 2, I have no idea. I know a lot about Spark, but not so. Wait, why is it RTI? That is also silly. Ah, that is it. That's the... I mean, maybe the kernel has an intentional illegal instruction there for some bug. Maybe we document it like that and continue debugging on that later and see what exactly there is going wrong another day, which you probably want to share, like, and subscribe for, and Patreon, and GitHub, and all the good stuff. Yeah, I think publishing that, I'm still torn whether to commit this into the main T2 trunk or somewhere else. It certainly could help other people. As you see, when you Google this stuff, you either find outdated stuff, non-matching stuff, and so on. And maybe do we make this another line? So, although it could be the Linux kernel not supporting something anymore, it could be anything. So, means the biggest thing we also later, so I mean, besides we like only took 1 hour plus to get the overview. So basically, yeah, 30 minutes last midnight, another 1.5 hours now. So much to the Linux testing efforts here. And this is just compiling what works, what doesn't, what options we would need. And the only other win here for the stuff is then to have a better kernel configs. By the way, I think recently I nearly auctioned some Mac Quadra. Probably it was relatively cheap, something like that. Even it's just like I said, I don't really want to collect more stuff. Quadra. Okay, that is not helpful. Is it not? Or maybe we should Apple. Yeah, I would need to Google what has the best Linux support. This thing actually doesn't look too bad. But yeah, forward right, just to spend my hard-earned money to have more work and testing. But otherwise, theoretically, not Linux supported, but yeah, you get the Motorola 68K idea. So X31 are super. So Spark 64 should work. At least it did last time. Spark 64. 30 defaults probably should have worked last time. At least something, but also the more, like, yeah, the more powerful and affordable, the more it is also used. And then the next was probably either Super H. Yet I did not test that. My friend tested that 20 years ago on his Dreamcast. But since then we didn't further test that. Oh, there's one some BIOS we don't have. Does it crash though? Although we probably have a Dreamcast kernel. Where is it even? At least once upon a time we had a Dreamcast kernel. Why is here Super H2? That is probably not really the right. But did I? Oh yeah, we tested that, but it's not really something interesting in there. Yeah, theoretically we also need to dynamically map the CPU selection for Super H to the Linux kernel. I think that is the open source version. Quite some processes nobody ever heard about. Oops. Oops. There's some board. I wonder, is this Dreamcast stuff upstream or was it also deleted? Probably would need to know what exactly the Dreamcast processor was. jQuery. I think this is some open source thing. What do they SH? SH4. That is why. That is why sometimes. Huh, we learned something. Yay! So that is two freaking serial ports. That is a thing. Wow. That is why the other. That explains the thing potentially. Only so we don't here yeah. So we would need the matching Linux kernel. So that explains the thing for the Motorola 68K thing. So yeah, that doesn't work yet. But so continuing our efforts here. Some of also some doxes like because. So yeah, if we wanted, or we built for the Dreamcast, if that is in the kernel. Actually, no, I deleted that. And run this in some Dreamcast emulator, which is, of course, another testing challenge to interact with it potentially. Yeah, it's still in the Linux kernel, maybe. Okay, this is some CPU subtype Super H7091, in case you're wondering. And there, SH Dreamcast, there you have it. Oh man, where can this bloody more spam than viewers? Can't make this shit up on this channel. So yeah, that is a thing, just not today. What was, so that work, wait a sec, illegal instruction. And here it is only matters, we do that some other day, leave in the comments below. It's of course not the most important. Maybe we found in this win-win not only improving the config here and there, but also that our PowerPC stuff might currently be buggy. We need to see. So there's always something, or that we learn that QEMU actually uses that syntax for the serial ports. So we are coming to an end. So this x86 stuff is of course trivial. That should just freaking work. So that would be, I mean, and theoretically we should wire our testing to the configured CPU option. So then we test for that. We should have a 486 CPU without 4 because it is there. And there we need the one and only there. Why is this not a thing? We maybe didn't build that yet. No, we didn't. But yeah, we can save that already. Something like that. And that is also for all the other architectures. Theoretically, for all the architectures, we would at times want to wire the CPU specifically, the subtype specifically to what we built for, to test for illegal instructions, misoptimizations. So that should be the same, both of those. We can reuse that. Just not 486. Nothing much to see here except performance. And theoretically we should auto detect so if you run the test on ARM, you get KVM for ARM, PowerPC and x86 specifically. How can there be so much freaking spam? That is ridiculous. How YouTube's AI cannot detect that is also beyond me. So, yeah, x82, we don't need to document this, it's obviously the same. I guess we are through of all and there are some things we can't test, like AVR32, IA64. Actually, most of the others we kind of sort of can test. And some are duplicates like x32, x86, 64, and Musel, they are all the same. And let's test maybe one more. Here's this 60K here. And let's what did I say? Did I say Quadra, right? Let's test that one with serial none. Okay, that doesn't do something though. Well, I mean, but this is also strange. Did it not Was it the default? Did it not? What is the default of that? Or is it next station? Oh no, it's some whatever something. You would think this stuff prints out something if it doesn't like something. But this is strange. The previously Amiga kernel doesn't do something, or like hangs or crashes something, and the new Mac Quadra kernel, or does it exit because it doesn't have graphic? You never know. Okay, that didn't really help anything, except that VirtIO should theoretically maybe work. Okay, that didn't help much. The bigger question would be, I mean, that should work. And so the other week I did build the latest RISC-V, even release candidate, because I wanted to test the 32-bit compatibility for 64-bit kernel. And that worked, so this toolchain is sound, and in general, I mean, not just that kernel, but I never had, like in a year, a RISC-V miscompiled kernel issue. The more it puzzles me that this doesn't do here something. Alright, this was also... yeah. Yeah, so to debug that, we would need to debug what it's executing now. I mean, that was freaking unhelpful. Do we have something more useful here? No graphic machine word. BIOS none. Is that necessary? You never know. We could try that. Also gives us nothing. I mean, maybe it simply doesn't have a serial console. Which one would that be? What was the syntax here? Q objects, Q info, Q3. What serial thing do we have here? And maybe we should Q info and key bindings. Alright, this is not my default key binding. What is the bloody background? Oh wait. Shit. Okay, they're not. IRQ, where would be 0? Does it not come with serial? Flash, RTC, PCIS, IRQ, VirtIO, MMO. Configman. Should this not be in here? What do we boot with device? Title, drive. No graphics, machine word. Or, I mean, so no graphics adds by default a serial port. Kernel, something, no graphics. Okay, there is some. Why do they have some firmware jump elf? Did they also have that there? Don't have that there though. Yeah, run camera. It's like, thank you very much. That is not particularly helpful either. Build root images. Okay, they probably don't put this here for fun, I would guess. But I also didn't quite see their serial console. I thought this J-tree should include all the devices. Let's either not yet. Okay, that's nothing. Thank you very much. This kind of situation when you start to read the QEMU source code. RISC-V, CPU adults, def, SVI, Plick, MIL bus. P-Flash. Happy you took a nap. It's freaking hot, probably mostly everywhere. Wait a second, serial MM? Is that serial? Is that this report? What does it output here? Does this features? There's some UART 8250. It's a little bit disappointing. So yeah, quite some effort to get even everything automatically tested, especially. Yeah, this is also the thing I really wished. I mean, not only for 20 years did this stuff waste my time, also you can't remember all those details, right? I mean, I remember a lot of details, but there's also a limit of, yeah. And I also wonder that the stuff with so many people working on it, that all those details do not work smoothly like that. Everything is not just more matching configured, more automatically working. And so on. That in the meantime, not everything's just freaking working TM. we probably don't. I mean, it looks like we could build all in, but that should not be the platform, right? I mean, QEMU, it sounds like QEMU should be what we want. Do we need that? Probably not. Or does it break with EFI? I mean, it does not look... I mean, a dmask would be nice to see what it would boot up with. Could also load other people. Welcome everyone. We could also just load other people, other people's kernel from somewhere. What could be? I mean, this even should. Oh, wait a second. Wait. Why do they? They built here some. Why do they boot some ELF and not? I mean, it should not really. I mean, it looks like it is supported. Or let's. By the way, what is the file type of this? This images anyway. So that is ELF. Let's try. I think this didn't load with. Oh, how can this freaking spam always come? This is so ridiculous. Happy birthday for your sister. What I want. So when we specified the ELF image, also hello, wrong focus maybe. I think it said it couldn't load this with overlapped stuff. But what if we was it BIOS none? It still doesn't work. Did they have BIOS none here? The question is this other image? Oh, that is a PE32 executable. Thank you very much. Yes, it loads, but doesn't really work much. So what else? No graphics, SMP. I mean, this surely can't be a... Would surprise me if this has a difference. Random number generator. I mean, this is... Puzzling. Crazy stuff. Yeah, so much to just WorksTM. I mean, this is also all new, right? Why have the RISC-V people not build up some infrastructure that just freaking more WorksTM? I mean, we could load that. What is even this compressor? You never heard of other on exit. Okay, but probably this needs to be anything useful here? It's not really what I wanted. What this is also like basically everything in the kitchen things here. Is this all RISC-V? What do we have here? RISC-V repo builder. What did they want there? Download pre-built from, want to download. Oh wait, is that, don't tell me. Ah, this is U-boot. Ah, they run this as U-boot. All I wanted to do is the kernel. Okay, so there's an unmatching thing. I would think that should be. Oh, is this freaking spam possible? This is ridiculous. Yeah, that's basically it. You don't want to watch me browse random. So this is not really what I wanted here. I wanted to do a freaking one QEMU system. Yeah, that is. I find it somewhat crazy that. That does not just more work. What do they put? Okay, they have. Okay, they also have some firmware jump thing here. Maybe we should actually try that. And actually, okay, this continues to be annoying. They have here some firmware jump. I think I've once used something like that for some FPGA, but I mean, they have this quirk here, and then U-boot elf. All I wanted is just run my freaking kernel, though. Nah. So yeah, more. If you figure out how to just run a Linux kernel in QEMU, let me know. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you learned something. We at least compiled here some information that is, yeah, that needs probably realistically, that needs a whole day of like 8 hours surrounding code and infrastructure to make this all automatically test and stuff. I think I commit this already, not to lose it accidentally. And as I said, it's probably also easier to just test, like extract the initRD and test this in QEMU user emulation. It's without all the firmware stuff and hardware interaction, like emulated hardware interaction and performance and cutting out all the firmware bullshit. Anyway, at least some stuff done, yet more stuff to do. I hope you found this interesting, learn something, and hope to see you soon for all the next fun stuff to come.